Hello, here is the video about the upcoming paper stuff. Um, it is intended to take the entire semester to do. So without further ado, let's do that share screen thing. Okay, here we go. What I have done is I've made this look like your page instead of mine. That's why if you look up here, it says as student. What I did was I put it here under important papers and such. So click on important papers and such, and you will now see paper. Click that. That brings you to the first instruction on this. What you will do here is you have to read this article that I linked here. This is a PDF, mainly because I don't expect everybody to have a subscription, and I don't want you to have to pay the subscription price for an article. That's why I'm providing you the PDF. I want you to read this article about who has now been placed here, the head of the energy stuff, and what he says. So you will view this article. There you go. This is how it shows up. Notice here it says 1 of 7, so technically it's 7 pages. This is the actual link. So if you would like to look it up online, feel free. It's a little smoother online, but this way you've got it. So you are to read this entire article. I don't mean skim it. Read this entire article and think on it. There you go. That's how far down it goes. You will need to read this and then research the renewable and non-renewable resources. Where it says here, as they pertain to the environment, this means you're going to have to understand and be able to explain what a renewable resource is and what a non-renewable resource is. You will need to understand how it affects the planet. I didn't specify it in this. I specified it in the class. You are concerning yourself with the environment. You are not concerning yourself with how many people can get the power. You are not concerning yourself with economy. You are not concerning yourself with anything other than how it affects the environment. You can go into economy if you wish, if you are making sure to include damages and whatnot. I say this because one of the biggest arguments people like to use is we need X kind of energy because jobs, or we need X kind of energy because all of these people use this product and we can make more money. If you are going to go that route, you also have to then show what's happening where said energy is coming from. An example would be coal. It's a quick Google search, but there's a lot of stuff out there when you look at the undermining of a lot of our nation, where there was so much mining for coal that the areas are now uninhabitable. We have, I believe it's Tennessee, and I think there's also parts in Virginia, that get flooded every year. Entire towns are now gone. So when you're saying we need to dig deeper and get more, and you're talking about jobs and economy, you then have to also look at how it affected everybody in the area, not just the positives. You have to also look at the negatives. You cannot sit here and try to be biased. You have to be unbiased. You have to really look at this where it affects the environment, the planet, the quality of life for people and animals, like non-human animals. You have to look at all of it. So once you have read this article, and then you have researched renewable and non-renewable resources and how it affects the planet, you then sit there and think about it all and start planning out a story. I know it sounds crazy, but I want you to become a storyteller. You are not writing a summary. You are not writing a report. You're telling me a story about the near future. Near future can be whatever you want. Near future can be 10 years from now. It can be 50 years from now. It can be 100 years from now. Um, Please refrain from going to like, it is now the year 2275. I don't want that far. That's why I say near future. 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, try that. And you will have to basically tell a story about what you think this planet will be like in that amount of time, as in the planet, the environment. Um, it is not to write a story about equality or dominance or um, I don't know. Everybody now has exactly the same amount of money as everybody else. It's not about flying cars. It's literally about what you believe the future will be for the planet if we stay course based on the article that I gave you and your research. I'm going to give more details throughout the term on this, but this is enough to get you started. Around midterm, I will like do a checkup, like, hey, how are you doing? See what's going on with you. If you have questions, of course, ask. But the main deal for all of this is get your brain working. Do I expect everybody to write me like the best possible thing ever? No. I know not everybody's a writer, but try. If you have never seen the remake of the Lorax, um, do it. Watch it. The original was really good. It's one of my son's favorite movies, but the remake kind of shows what I'm looking for a little bit, where you're telling a story. Well, actually, the original one tells a really good story too. It's just the remake is more like what now people would think of, less than the 70s. But I don't care if you do an overall view, if you tell the story from a cat, or if you tell the story from a person. I don't care if you tell the entire story from a cockroach and be like, I remember when humans used to be here. It doesn't matter. It's you're going to be creative. Um, but you're going to have to explain everything in a fun way. This removes the attempt to be super academic. This should be a fun thing, but a learning thing. So, to start off, read that article. I highly suggest read it a couple of times because it's a bit heavy. Take notes as you read it. If you don't understand something, mark it up, look it up, educate yourself. Then research the renewable and non-renewable resources, what they're doing with the planet, whether it's how we get the sources or what it does to the planet as we use the sources, whatever. And then start writing up your story. So by midterm, you should have mastered the article. You should have all your research. You should have a few sources to help back up what you're thinking. And you should have like a sketched out part of your story, at least an idea of where you're going with it. And then I will give you some more stuff to toss into it as we go. So I guess that's it. And the other thing is to remember videos. Take a look carefully at the videos that are posted throughout the term. In the description, if it's an old video, it should say previously recorded. That means if I talk about something that you don't see on here, just ignore it. I'm trying to update everything. But, you know, I already told you my brain kind of went crazy. And so I'm a little bit behind. So I haven't had a chance to really update everything. But yeah, I think that's it. And clearly my brain's still like, because I am flipping exhausted. It's been a long day, but I promised I would get this up here by tonight. So I'm doing it. All right. So let me know if you have any questions, and peace.